Hello, everyone. Welcome to our next podcast. It's Decoding the Future, a dive into the Gartner Magic Quadrant for financial close solutions. We're with Ruben here again. Ruben, how are you?
Hey Tim, glad to be here again. I'm very good. Happy to be talking to you again and diving into a new topic this time, which is quite interesting.
Fantastic.
So thanks for having me.
Cool. So what is the Gartner Magic Quadrant for financial close solutions?
Okay, so I think we talked briefly about that in the last podcast. Obviously, it's an independent report, right? Which is not only related to EPM or CPM technology, but it looks at different areas in the market, even like solutions that are related to energy, for example, right? But is this basically is a market research report that looks at quantitative and qualitative data. And they basically create some independent opinions about what they think the market situation is, what the market trends are, what's the direction of the market, the maturity, and where are the participants in the market, no? Right? So they look at different technology, they look at customer feedback as well, and they create and publish these reports every 1 or 2 years, right? In terms of EPM or CPM, I think it has become quite of a kind of a follow report, also because we're in a time where we have so many players coming in, right? So we have players that are leaders, others that are niche players or newcomers, right? So it's really like this report kind of put everything in perspective and makes it a little bit easy to digest what everybody's doing, right? Because there is so many different key players in the market, right? So I think it's quite of a relevant information for everybody, not only for professionals like us, but potential clients or potential users to kind of read these reports. And the main thing is that they seem to be agnostic or independent to any financial software, right? So that's the key part.
Okay, thank you. How does Gartner evaluate these solutions?
So they look at different things, right? So I mean, it's just not one. They look at the market, of course. They look at the different technologies and the market situation and the trends. In terms of like EPM and CPM technology, they look at different things, right? They look at, okay, what is really the solution providing, right? In terms of like, in this case, we're talking about financial consolidation, right? So what's the consolidation engine? How is the eliminations being performed? What kind of reports are being created, right? Are these tools actually in compliance with the new reporting requirements, right? It could be reporting requirements from a statutory point of view, management point of view, or even tax reporting requirements, right? So how are these tools adapting to those new requirements, right? They even look at the architecture around like the calculation engine. Okay, how is the calculations and being performed within the system, right? What's the performance of those calculations? What's the user friendliness, right? How easy is to actually adapt to the application or to train the users? What are the costs associated with the implementation? What's the implementation time as well? They even look at how is the user support, right? Like, okay, if I have an issue with a certain with the application, or what's the kind of customer service that this application is providing to the user community, right? What's the response? What's the SLAs for that that type of response, right? Because based on those parameters, they really allocate or classify the tools into different buckets, right? So some tools might be easier to implement or cheaper or maybe quicker. So maybe those are like, they bucket them in like niche players, which are players who are actually like a little bit maybe designed for small and medium enterprises who need a lower turnaround when it comes to implementing, right? So they do look at a lot of things. And there is a question that I think you're gonna, that it was part of the prior podcast as well. I think on the customer feedback, they do collect input from a variety of market and client sources. So they really like take that into account as well to kind of create or generate this type of reports, right?
Fantastic. So who are the leaders in the latest report and why?
So the leaders, I think they stay like pretty much the same. I mean, if we're talking about financial close and consolidation, we have one stream, we have Oracle, and we have Tagetik, right? I mean, I think obviously on the one stream side, I think they have analyzed what the platform can do, like the flexibility to do different consolidation and planning processes, as well as all the extensibility, the extensible dimensionality, right? All the possibilities that can offer to the end client, right? They've been looking at, okay, what's the financial intelligence behind all these out-of-the-box solutions, right? They are even looking at how the consolidation process is structured through the workflows, right? That's something that they analyze, and that's why it's actually one of the biggest strengths of OneStream, right? They also look at the data integration, right? OneStream is actually putting a lot of effort in creating additional or more automated integration between source system and OneStream, right? They even look at how OneStream is marketing themselves. They are having a more flexible and user-based pricing, right? So that makes the tool even to kind of fall into that leader category, right? Obviously, they also look at the clientele, right? The number of clients that OneStream has been implemented, the size of those clients, the customer feedback, right? And that they consider OneStream is one of those leaders, right? I think is followed by Oracle. I think Oracle has been always kind of historically one of those leaders. Again, I mean, they offer close and consolidation solutions, but they also offer like all types of account reconciliations, like OneStream, right? Transaction matching. They also offer planning and budgeting, right? So it's kind of that diversity of solutions which makes one tool kind of stand out over the others, right? I think again, when it comes to Oracle, is the availability of having like predefined rules that make the kind of the implementation shorter, right? All the narrative reporting. Additional, like also like the ability to organize everything by workflows and stuff, the incremental use of artificial intelligence and machine learning, right? That actually makes the solution more attractive. I mean, we discussed in the last podcast the difference between OneStream and Oracle, but of course we're not going to get into that now. But yeah, that again also like the geographic strategy of Oracle, right? Oracle is kind of the presence, the global presence that also with no limitations, right? They even have like different consolidation templates per country, right? If you are in France or Spain, they can actually have that specific templates when you implement the application. So they also look at the global reach, right? OneStream and Oracle are actually globally reaching clients in different geographical areas, right? And I think it's a little bit similar with Tagetik, right? The thing is like they offer like so many different possibilities when it comes to consolidation and reporting. They are creating pre-built modules for ESG and sustainability, as well as tax and insurance. They're introducing more and more artificial intelligence and machine learning. Also putting a lot of effort in data integration. The implementation support and the implementation time is actually shorter when it comes to Tagetik compared to maybe OneStream and Oracle, and that makes the application stand out over other applications, right? So overall, I think these three are actually, I think we knew it, are the more kind of the leaders in this financial close and consolidation. There is differences between the three of them. But I think at the moment, I think I will agree with this research. They actually have functionality that other applications do not have, right? So
fantastic. So can you talk about the challenges and the visionaries?
Okay, so for the challengers, and again, I don't know them by heart. So I'm looking at the report itself. We have there are a few, right? We have Blackline, Fluence Technologies, Planful, and IBM. I'm going to talk about Fluence and Planful, right? Because I'm a little bit more inclined to actually understand these are two of the challengers, right? In terms of Planful, is also like it provides one of the fastest deployment timelines of all of the other tools. That's why they make them a challenger, right? Because one of the challenges, let's put it that way, for companies is the implementation time, right? Some of them don't have the resources or the time availability to kind of embark in a very lengthy implementation, right? So they prefer to actually choose players that actually could provide a quicker turnaround, right? So I think when it comes to Planful, it does that. So it can actually be considered one of the challengers, right? It also has a lot of pre-built functionality as well. It has pre-built connectors with different ERPs, and they also have like the performance time when it comes to consolidation seems to be quite good. And obviously they have like pre-built functionality around currency conversion and reporting, right? So I think again it's a challenger, but it's probably not. It doesn't have like all the additional functionality that OneStream, for instance, will have, or Oracle or Tagetic. But if there is a company that is looking actually for a faster turnaround with an application that seems to be working or performing quite well, I think it could be one option in terms of like at least to consider, right, when it comes to doing that evaluation of the different tools in the market, right? And yeah, I think and the other one that I wanted to talk is Fluence as well, right? I think with Fluence, one of the things that it makes them a challenger is also the inclusion of workflows, right? So kind of mimicking what OneStream and Oracle does, right? So including the workflows to kind of create you like a guided process from end to end within the consolidation department, right? They obviously have intercompany eliminations and all the consolidation functionality, and then they also can provide a lot of automation when it comes to recurring tasks within the month-end process, right? They also invest in a lot in artificial intelligence and machine learning. They even have chatbots within the application that help you to kind of direct the user or even respond questions within that month-end process. And also they have some pilots that they have done on the transaction matching point of view, right? So that's quite good. Again, Fluence has a lot of out-of-the-box functionality when it comes to forms and reports. And again, that makes the deployment time much faster. So I think the challengers are like, if you have to actually pick one of the main or the differentiator compared to the other leaders, is the fastest implementation time, right? Compared to those players, right?
Okay, thank you. So who are the niche players, and when might their solutions be a good fit?
So I think for the niche players is kind of similar. Yeah, again, it's going to be a faster implementation time, probably combined with a more flexible kind of licensing point of view, which you can actually obtain like different accesses to the application at different licensing cost, and probably they are actually reduced compared to the bigger players. And again, you have also faster implementation times, right? When it comes then to the niche players, we have some. I think the report mentions LookAnet, also Profix and Solver, as well as Yedox. I think Yedox is getting a lot of trend later. It's probably going to move from the niche to kind of the challengers, because I've seen more and more companies using Yedox lately. And again, yeah, I think the implementation time is closer. It's actually smaller compared to the other big players. Jedox is mainly I think mainly focused in Europe at the moment, so the customers are mainly based in Europe with lesser concentration in North America and APAC. So probably if they want to actually operate in different markets and provide some of the out-of-the-box capabilities, they will probably have to adapt to some of those differences between geographical regions, right? I think in terms of the user experience, it's a system that it doesn't really rely on heavy coding, right? So it has a lot of pre-built stuff, so it makes the deployment quite straightforward, and it's also quite easy to maintain because they rely on a low-code strategy, right? Again, the sales pricing strategy is very dynamic, and it's kind of it's very flexible and very adapted to the client's needs. and it uses some type of like bundle pricing, right? Which you can actually hire or get some of the functionality and not get others, so to make it a little bit cheaper at the beginning, right? And then in terms of like JEDOX is kind of strong in terms of like the drill through functionality. They're really investing a lot of time and effort in trying to kind of connect that target consolidated data back to the ERP by doing what it's called drill through, right? So that's one thing, and I think in terms of LookAnet is similar. Main point of LookAnet is data integration as well. They have a lot of experience doing ERP integrations with other systems, so that they actually provide that drill back, drill through functionality in reporting. Same in terms of sales pricing. The strategy for pricing is a little bit similar. What they offer like different packages depending on the functionality, right? So you can opt for a low package for a much lower price, right? So that makes clients a little bit happier when it comes to allocating the budget for the licenses, right? And I think actually what LookAnet did, they acquired a different company in 2023. I think the company is called Amana. Based on that, they actually through the implementation of LookAnet, they provide additional stuff like disclosure management, tax compliance, and ESG reporting. So that makes it a little bit, they're actually going through that path of actually not just being one main tool for financial consolidation, but actually providing additional services, right? Okay. So yeah, it's an interesting market. To be honest, there is so many platforms or applications out there. And yeah, it's kind of hard to. It really depends on multiple factors, and ultimately relies on the client's decision, of course.
Fantastic. Yeah, cool. So, what trends are shaping these financial solutions?
Yeah, I think it's something kind of continuing from what we discussed last time. I think the trends are more and more investment in the ESG strategies, right? Like all of the applications are putting a lot of effort in time and money to kind of develop pre-built solutions for ESG, because the ESG requirements are actually being, or ESG reporting requirements are being put in place. And obviously some companies don't even know what they need to report when it comes to ESG. They don't even know which drivers they need to use, which reports they need to produce, right? So having these pre-built capabilities are really helpful. So all of these platforms, or most of them, are actually investing a lot of time in that. So it's going to be like more and more important, right? I think same with, for instance, tax solutions, right? There is new requirements now for Pillar 2, right? So you need to actually not only the requirements coming from the country-by-country reporting, but now with the Pillar 2, there is more and more emphasis on additional disclosure for tax reporting. So obviously having these pre-built modules for tax reporting are going to be like a differentiator when it comes to picking one tool or the other, right? In terms of artificial intelligence or machine learning, that obviously is taking more and more importance. We're going to see more automation of tasks and coding, and less manual functionalities. But of course, I think the big players have an advantage here because they have more budget to actually invest in artificial intelligence or machine learning, right? Maybe some of the smaller players have to actually follow that leadership and kind of try to invest as we go along, right? But the bigger players have actually had that path already kind of walked, let's say, and it's going to be the investment on that area is going to be a continued process, right, in the next few years.
Sure, thank you. So, as mentioned before, we talked about customer feedback. How important is it in the rankings? Is it quite significant?
Not really. It's not the main factor, right? I think they analyze agnostically and independently the capabilities of the tool by using independent experts. Obviously, the customer feedback and the market feedback is one of the requirements, or one of the factors when it comes to actually evaluating the classification of the tools. But yeah, it's just one factor that. Included in the bigger spectrum of factors, right? So obviously it's good that client reviews are being taken into account, because obviously it's very important. Probably they don't need to go into the user-specific review, but more on the bigger client kind of controller CFO review of those tools, right? To kind of have like kind of a more globalized opinion, right? So I think it's really important to get that feedback, but of course, the work that they do by independently analyzing the functionalities of the tool it still remains like the main factor to kind of create this type of rankings, right?
Fantastic. So what should buyers consider when choosing a solution?
Yeah, so I mean, budget. Important to know, okay, how much money do you actually have to do this type of implementation is being allocated to for this project, right? Implementation time, right? What's your do you have like only a couple of months to implement it, or you can actually have dedicated resources or SMEs working on this project for 6 to 8 months or 1 year, right? Long-term strategy, right? What do you want to do with your application? Do you need to scale it up? Maybe are you expecting to grow the business so much that the application that you choose is going to actually become smaller for your needs, right? So are you planning, is there anything in the pipeline that's going to suggest you to maybe go for the leaders rather than going for a niche or a challenger, right? Are you going to be using the application for more things than financial close and consolidation? Are you going to use it for additional reporting or planning or budgeting and stuff, right? So maybe you need to actually look at how the solution is gonna fit those needs in the future, right? What's your IT infrastructure, right? Like, can you go fully cloud, or you still need to go on-prem, right, for internal IT requirements, right? So there is a lot of factors, and unfortunately, like the budget is one of the main ones when it comes to this. And I say unfortunately because it kind of blurs your vision when sometimes, and you just prioritize that over other factors. But of course, I understand there is budget limitations with any project, right? But yeah, I will say that those are the main characteristics when it comes to analyzing the proper tool for your company. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where is the market heading in the next 5 years?
So, I mean, I think like right now we have 3 leaders, right? And we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 between challengers and niche players, right? So you see the difference, right? I think the niche players and the challengers are going to try to mimic those things that make OneStream or a column targeting the leaders, right? And they're going to try to get that into that part of the chart, right? So we're going to see this small companies trying to do more additional functionality within the tool, focus more on ESG reporting, investing more in artificial intelligence and machine learning, investing a lot in pre-built solutions, right? Because that actually impacts a lot the implementation time, which has obviously is completely directly related to the budget that you spend in the project, right? So I think we're going to see a little more competition in the years to come, and it's going to be quite interesting because it's also going to push the leaders to try to become better leaders, right? So
fantastic. So going back to one of those points, how are AI and machine learning affecting these solutions?
Yeah, so obviously, I think the machine learning and AI is ultimately done to kind of reduce all those manual activities that we do in a project, right? Or we do within an application, which has a direct relationship with so many factors, like the timeline for or time span for an implementation, right? From beginning to end, it has an impact on the budget that you spend for that implementation. It has an impact on the maintenance and administration that you need to do for that particular application, right? So not only like how much are my costs going to be reduced for the implementation by using artificial intelligence and machine learning, but how much my costs are going to be reduced by just having this maybe administration and maintenance activities being also automated through artificial intelligence, right? Also, the user acceptance to the tool, right? Like artificial intelligence is going to create like tasks, or it's going to create guidelines are going to be more intuitive, right, from the user point of view, right? Or even it's going to anticipate certain activities that the user needs to do, right? So I think the whole experience is gonna change. Maybe some of the guys who are doing now all the coding, like myself, sometimes are gonna have a few challenges here and there because they will have to probably reshape certain things that they do. But again, I mean, it's just part of evolution, and it's not only affecting the EPM and CPM world, but it's affecting all the industries and technologies around the world, right? So it's nice to see. Obviously, the artificial intelligence is not going to replace, a human being going into the project and understanding the requirements, right?
Sure.
That's always probably going to be needed, but it's going to replace a lot of the other activities that happen behind the scenes sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ruben. It's been really good and insightful, and definitely we'll be doing more podcasts in the future. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you so much.
Thank you.